in the heart of ancient Kalimdor, where the world's mysteries were as abundant as its lush landscapes, a tale of epic proportions began. It was a time of great conflict and extraordinary discovery, as the dark trolls unearthed the Well of Eternity, a source of boundless power. Little did they know that their actions would set in motion a chain of events that would shape the destiny of Azeroth. As we journey through the annals of history, we'll uncover the stories of iconic figures like Queen Azshara, the Night Elf twins Malfurion and Illidan, and the noble priestess Tyrande Whisperwind. Join us as we delve into the War of the Ancients and sit back because today's episode starts right now. In the time before the great conflict with the Akir, the troll tribes laid claim to vast stretches of Kalimdor. Among these tribes, the Gurubashi and the Amani were notorious for their battles over hunting grounds and territory. However, there was one tribe that paid no heed to these disputes for land and power. They were known as the Dark Trolls, dwelling in a network of deep caverns beneath the mighty Mount Hyjal. These mysterious beings shunned the light of day, emerging from their subterranean abodes only under the shroud of night. As time passed, the nocturnal existence of the Dark Trolls left its mark, turning their once blue skin into varying shades of gray. The Dark Trolls cherished their independence from greater troll society, and they largely ignored the activities of other tribes. Unlike the Gurubashi and the Amani, their hearts longed for a serene connection to the natural world. The Dark Troll mystics sought ways to commune with the land, aspiring to live in harmony with it. Over time, many of them embarked on a journey towards the heart of Kalimdor, where they roamed the intricate groves, crossing paths with elusive fairy dragons, chimeras, and gentle dryads. It was there, in the depths of the continent, that they stumbled upon a colossal lake shimmering with otherworldly energies, a lake they would later come to call the Well of Eternity. Enchanted by their discovery, the Dark Trolls settled along the shores of the Well of Eternity. Across generations, the energies emanating from the lake infused their very beings, transforming them into highly intelligent and nearly immortal beings. The trolls of old gradually abandoned their age-old customs and beliefs. The mystics of the tribe turned their reverence to the moon goddess, Elune, whom they believed was bound to the Well of Eternity itself. They claimed that Elune slumbered within the depths of the fount during the daylight hours. In their newfound understanding, the former trolls unearthed the name Kalimdor and other ancient Titan-forged words through communion with Elune and by investigating curious artifacts scattered around the well's surroundings. Influenced by this fresh knowledge, they christened themselves Kaldore, meaning children of the stars, or simply night elves. As the trees, flowers, and woodland creatures silently observed, they whispered tidings of the night elves flourishing to the wild gods of Hyjal. Among these divine beings, the demigod Cenarius took a particular interest in these newcomers who resided by the shores of the Well of Eternity. The night elves would claim he was the son of the great white stag, Malfurion, and Illidan herself. Cenarius held the night elves in high regard and believed in their potential to become devoted stewards of nature. He befriended the emerging race and imparted his wisdom about the natural world, nurturing the hope that they would live in harmony with the wilds. For many centuries, the night elves heeded Cenarius's teachings. They constructed an elegant society around the Well of Eternity, with their capital, Elundris, meaning the Eye of Elune, nestled on the shores of the potent fount. Their bonds with the surrounding woodlands and their myriad inhabitants deepened. Cenarius guided them when necessary, gratified by the wisdom and benevolence that dwelled within their hearts. As time passed, many among the night elves yearned for a different path. These individuals became consumed by the desire to unlock the arcane secrets of the Well of Eternity. They delved into the study of the Fount's mystical energies, becoming accomplished sorcerers in the process. The arcane powers of the lake fueled their ambitions, leading to the construction of magnificent temples and roadways surrounding it. Magic became an inseparable part of their lives, and the pursuit of knowledge and power became the driving force of their culture. It was during this era of unprecedented growth that the Night Elves' most prolific leader came to power. Her name was Queen Azshara, and through her unbridled ambition, she would elevate her people to extraordinary new heights, and sow the seeds of their destruction. Beautiful and wise beyond her years, Queen Azshara embodied the most coveted traits of her people. She indulged in the enchanting arts of sorcery and erected a resplendent palace adorned with gleaming gems upon the shores of the Well of Eternity. Within this grand citadel, the most influential nobles, who came to be known as the Queldo Rey, or Highborn, answered her every command. The Highborn were an exceptionally gifted and ambitious coterie of sorcerers. Some, like the devoted Lady Vash, served as the Queen's loyal handmaidens, while others, such as the wise Lord Xavius, offered counsel on matters of governance. Regardless of their specific roles, all the Highborn occupied the upper echelons of Night Elf society. Their belief in their own superiority over their brethren of lower birth ignited the ire of the lower-born Night Elves. This disdain did not extend to Queen Azshara. Though she hailed from the loftiest noble lineage, Night Elves from all walks of life adored her. They were so enamored by their queen that they renamed their magnificent capital Zinashari, signifying the glory of Azshara in her honor. Under the reign of Azshara, the Night Elf civilization burgeoned into an expansive empire, a dreamlike realm of gilded spires, sprawling cities, and other wonders unmatched even in the contemporary age. Networks of radiant causeways, bathed in the silvery light of a lune, extended to the far reaches of Kalimdor. At Azshara's behest, expeditionary forces embarked on exploratory missions across the world, expanding the empire's frontiers. These expeditions often returned with exotic flora and fauna, along with tales of the legendary dragonflights that ruled the world's apex. They founded numerous outposts and repositories, such as Chandril in the frosty northern woods of Moonsong, Thenralor in the verdant central wilderness, later known as the Barrens, and Eldrathalas in the southern jungles of Feralis. Queen Azshara herself directed the construction of a magnificent temple to Elune, a sprawling expanse of gem-studded bridges and effervescent lakes at Kalimdor's western edge. Once completed, she bestowed upon this mesmerizing site the name Lat Harlazal, signifying seat of the sky. Not since the ancient Black Empire had there been such a vast dominion in size and scope. The immense influence Azshara wielded over the world and its denizens exceeded even the most audacious aspirations of power. Nevertheless, there was one place that Azshara and her forces deliberately steered clear of: Mount Hyjal. The spirits and demigods who inhabited the Sylvan Woods deeply unsettled the queen. She felt that Hyjal was somehow beyond her reach, a realm suffused with primeval magic, an untamed and unyielding land that stood in stark contrast to her vision of a new Kalimdor. Publicly, Azshara imposed a ban on expansion into Hyjal in deference to the ancient kinship between the Night Elves and the forests. In truth, she loathed the mountain and the harmony it represented. Cenarius, who was well aware of Azshara's sentiments regarding Hyjal, watched with growing unease as the Night Elf Empire expanded. With each passing year, he grew increasingly troubled by the arrogance and reckless actions of the sorceress Highborn. While the majority of Night Elf society remained committed to venerating the natural world, Cenarius understood that they held no sway over Azshara and her haughty followers. As time advanced, the Night Elves began to shun diplomacy and largely disregarded the other cultures of Azeroth. Azshara's unwavering beliefs in racial purity seeped into the collective psyche of the Night Elves, breeding an environment fraught with xenophobia. Only the openly hostile troll nations drew the full attention of the Elves. Sporadic skirmishes flared up between the two sides, but each time, the trolls faltered before the destructive magics wielded by the Night Elves. However, Azshara cared little for conquest. In her eyes, the trolls were a minor annoyance, driven by primitive and unenlightened minds. Ultimately, she struck an accord with the Zandalar tribe, which held sway over all other trolls. In exchange for ceasing their incursions into Night Elf territory, the Zandalari were granted the sacred Zandalar Mountains, south of the Well of Eternity by Azshara's benevolence. The trolls accepted this arrangement grudgingly, aware of their inability to contend with the Night Elves' arcane might. This humiliating acquiescence sowed the seeds of deep-seated resentment among the trolls, a bitter enmity that would endure for generations. With the trolls no longer posing a threat, Azshara continued to expand her dominion. Even as she did so, she devoted more time to her palace, fixating on the Well of Eternity and its arcane enigmas. She believed that the Night Elves had merely scratched the surface of the Fount's power. She urged the Highborn to delve deeper into the Well's depths, to broaden their knowledge and strive for new pinnacles of cultural and technological advancement. Their reckless experiments sent waves of magic rippling through the twisting nether, attracting the demonic denizens of that realm. Like moths drawn to a flame, these entities converged on the irresistible font of power. It was only a matter of time before Sargeras and the Burning Legion took notice. At long last, Sargeras had discovered the whereabouts of Azeroth, the fabled world soul. Without hesitation, he gathered his boundless fury and his formidable demonic hordes, setting his malevolent gaze upon the distant world. All that remained was for Sargeras to find a means to reach Azeroth. Amid the relentless experiments on the Well of Eternity by the Highborn, a young night elf named Malfurion Stormrage honed his connection to the natural world. Guided by the wisdom of Cenarius, he had become the first mortal druid on Azeroth. Malfurion displayed remarkable progress in his studies, and he often roamed the forests of Mount Hyjal. Cenarius derived great satisfaction from Malfurion's advancement. He had sensed the exceptional potential within his student from the moment the Night Elf spirit first ventured into the Emerald Dream. Cenarius harbored hopes that Malfurion would spread the teachings of Druidism among the Night Elves, guiding them back to their harmonious roots. However, Azshara and her followers remained impervious to this transformation. Unknown to the broader Night Elf society, the Highborn had initiated communication with Sargeras. The fallen Titan aimed to employ the sorcerers and their formidable magic to expedite the Legion's arrival on Azeroth. Lacking a suitable gateway, Sargeras knew that reaching the world would take considerable time. Much as he had manipulated the Eridar on Argus, Sargeras reached out to the Highborn and capitalized on their arrogance. Lord Xavius was the first of the Highborn to hear Sargeras' summons. The power-hungry Xavius swiftly brought Sargeras to Azshara's attention. The fallen Titan pledged to bestow upon the Night Elf Queen and her followers unimaginable power, enabling them to reshape Kalimdor into a paradise. Sargeras asked only that Azshara and her followers summon his agents into Azeroth, who would then bestow the Highborn with this power. Enthralled by Sargeras' might, Azshara and her Highborn harnessed the energies of the Well of Eternity to bring the Legion's minions into Azeroth. Waves of demonic warriors surged forth from the Queen's palace, leaving a trail of death among the Night Elves, sparing only their Highborn allies. Led by figures like Manaroth the Destructor, Hacker the Houndmaster, and Archimonde the Defiler, the Legion surged through the Night Elf Empire, leaving a path of destruction and despair. Infernals blazed across the skies, reducing Night Elf cities to rubble, while bloodthirsty Doomguards and ravenous Fellhounds transformed Kalimdor's serene woodlands into smoldering ruins. War unlike any mortal empire had ever seen had descended upon Azeroth. A Night Elf resistance force, commanded by a noble named Lord Kurtalos Ravencrest, rallied to confront the Legion's furious onslaught. Among these valiant defenders were Malfurion, his sorceress twin Illidan, and the beautiful priestess Tyrande Whisperwind, whom both brothers cherished deeply. These three unlikely heroes would ultimately shape the destiny of Kalimdor. Though Ravencrest's forces initially faced many setbacks against the demons, the Night Elves made some headway. Malfurion delivered a pivotal blow against the Legion and their highborn allies. From the depths of the Emerald Dream, he channeled his druidic magics against Azshara's trusted servant, Xavius, and vanquishing him. This act not only eliminated one of the most powerful highborn sorcerers but also showcased the incredible potential of druidic magic to Malfurion's allies. Illidan too proved to be invaluable to the resistance. During a crucial battle, his courage and mastery of arcane magic saved Ravencrest's life, leading to his appointment as the commander's personal sorcerer. He would later command the cadre of sorcerers who fought for the Night Elf resistance. Beautiful Tyrande, priestess of unwavering faith in the benevolent Elune, emerged as one of the most esteemed members of the Sisterhood of Elune. Through her deep devotion to the kind-hearted Elune, she saved countless innocents from the marauding Legion. Eventually, Tyrande would ascend to the rank of High Priestess of Elune, becoming the revered leader of her sacred sisterhood. Nonetheless, despite the valor with which the resistance fought, more demons continued to pour into Azeroth through the Highborn's portals. The Legion swelled its ranks with a new breed of demon, born from the denizens of Azeroth itself. The first of these abominations was Xavius, whose body Sargeras had warped into a monstrous, demonic form with jagged horns and cloven hooves. This transformation gave rise to the Satyrs, and Xavius became one of the eternal servants of the Legion. At Sargeras's command, he set out to curse many of his fellow Highborn, transforming them into Satyrs as well. As the Legion's numbers grew, Malfurion recognized that the Night Elves could not overcome this threat alone. He persuaded Tyrande and Illidan to accompany him to the peaceful Moonglade near Mount Hyjal, where they implored Cenarius for assistance. The great demigod agreed to rally the wild gods against the Legion, though they were capricious beings unaccustomed to fighting in unison. Motivating them to action would take time, a luxury the Night Elves did not possess. As we wrap up today's episode, I trust you've acquired fresh insights and knowledge. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, what you enjoyed about the episode and the new information you've gained. To my dedicated viewers, if you haven't already, kindly hit that subscribe button to show your support. Until our next episode, I wish all of you, my fantastic audience, nothing but the best.